It's not a public square. It's a private park. It's more like a private park that we pay entrance fees to get into. Right? Then there's rules in those private parks. If you violate the rules, or codes of conduct, if you will, they will eject you out of there. It's no different. Before you say, oh, we don't pay for Twitter. Well, I mean, they mine your data and sell it. So in a way, you are paying them. So, I mean, really think about it. We really need to start thinking about what we're asking the government to do. Because when you come in and say, well, the government should take that over, what does that mean? We're going to nationalize social media. Just for starters, look at everything else they've been trying to nationalize. The more aspects of the economy that come under more and more government sway, those are the areas of the economy that do the worst, that have the most problems, end up with these giant bubbles that burst. And who ends up getting hurt by it? Us. Politicians, they write themselves exemptions to laws like the Affordable Health Care Act. Yeah, that's for you. You pathetic little peasants. You have the Affordable Health Care Act. We're going to keep our quote-unquote Cadillac insurance where we can keep everything we've got, plus our staff and our families, forever. Because shouldn't be subject to that bullshit. That's really what they're saying. I mean, but again, I digress. Bring it straight back to Twitter or Facebook or any other social media company. Do I like what the tech giants are doing? No, not necessarily. But who am I to tell them how they should or should not run their company? Okay? Any of these companies that are publicly traded, you got a problem? Buy stock. You buy enough of it, and enough of your buddies buy enough of it, go to a board meeting. Vote on some stuff. Make your voices heard. Or, hey, send them a strongly worded email. You know, say, hey, I'm pissed off. I'm leaving. Delete your account if it's that big a deal to you. For some people, it makes sense to do that. Some other people who make their, it's part of their livelihood, it doesn't necessarily make sense to do that. But even those people, and I'm sure they've already done it, I would urge them to find alternate places, because anytime you say something Twitter doesn't like, they may ban you for a couple weeks or forever, or pull videos or shadow ban you. So the only way you can guarantee the best chance of you getting your message out there or keeping in touch with your audience is to diversify, which any smart business person would tell you. Any entrepreneur would tell you, try to diversify. Don't be a one-trick pony. Even if that means you having a YouTube account, your Rumble, used to be Parler, your Twitter, your Minds.com, all that stuff. And there's way more out there. Right? And you know what? Let's be real. Donald Trump is not owed some oath of fealty by Twitter. I mean, he seems to think he's owed some oath of fealty by the Supreme Court justices that he nominated, because that's one of the things he was complaining about, right, at that rally that happened just before the riots, was what? Oh, the Supreme Court hasn't been going my way. After everything I did to make sure you get nominated, how dare you, basically? How dare you not vote my way? Well, that's not how it's supposed to work. The Supreme Court is not supposed to owe its allegiance to anybody. It's supposed to owe its allegiance to the Constitution, the oaths they've, made to uphold the Constitution. It's supposed to be a nation of laws, not people. And I know we've fallen quite short of that mark. But the good news is that we're still free, relatively speaking. You can still do things. You don't have to give the tech giants all this power over you. You don't. They don't have to have this power over you. All you have to be willing to do is unplug from it. Point blank. If enough people just get pissed off and say, you know what, I'm not using it, they're going to change their tune. At some point, they'll have to. But you also have to remember, Twitter's taking a hit in the stock market. But the chain of command there really doesn't care. I don't think they care right now, because this is a battle of ideologies. Okay? They have a certain ideological bent. Okay? Obviously, they sway more towards what we consider the left. I call it the authoritarian left. And obviously, that's what they're into. That's fine. Pick a source of media that doesn't have an ideological bent. CNN, MSNBC, Facebook, Fox News, Newsmax, they all have, Breitbart, they all have their bent. Okay, they lean a certain way, and the difference is some platforms may be a little more honest about it. You know, at least with Twitter, even Facebook, YouTube, some Rumble, you know, you might be able to get snippets of news from some of these people. There are people out there putting out great content. And what's great about it is a lot of them really just tell you what they think. They throw some information out at you just like this. Then you can look it up and verify it yourself. Unlike your MSNBCs and your CNNs, where they like to tell you what's going on and what to think about it, right? They have all these little dog whistles and preemptory phrases that they use to make sure that you know you're supposed to be offended before they even say anything. So you know the content's offensive. That you know that this person that they're talking about is racist or horrible. You don't even need to know why. You already know they are. In a lot of cases, you already know why. Because they're evil, right-wing conservative racists, right? Just think about that for a minute. Okay, now, again, I'm not saying I like what Twitter does. I'm not saying it's good for their financial line, you know, but what do I know? Maybe they're trying to cull the herd a little bit and to call more of their, make it more of a safe space, an echo chamber for the authoritarian lefties so they feel more comfortable. Because nothing upsets an authoritarian like anyone that has a dissenting viewpoint. But I have to urge everyone, really think about it. Really think about it before you ask the government to step in. Okay, because they're going to screw it up. They screw up everything. And what ends up always happening is giant corporations like your Twitters, your Facebooks, your Google, your Amazon, they're going to be fine. It's someone like you or me or some 13-year-old sitting there right now coming up with an idea in his head who would be starting their own business out of their garage who won't be able to. Now's the time to give me the good, the bad, and the ugly. Seriously, guys, let me know what you love and hate. Just put in the comments below. And don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. And check out the show on other platforms. See which one you like the best. Thank you, and have a great night.